Happy fucking Sunday, boys. It's good to be back. How we all doing? Feels like I haven't done this in fucking ages. Oh, we've started off on the ladyboy talk and stuff, have we? Perfect. Guess it's gonna be that kind of Sunday. Cheers, people. How we all fucking doing today? Chris, Suited Tom, how you doing? Suited Tom, how much is lobster in Thailand? I very much approve of the way you spell Thailand as well, sir. I reckon around $40. Arms B, oi, oi, oi. How you doing? How you doing, Chris Gray? Arms B, I'm buzzing. Less of that, Chris Gray. I'm an old man, remember? I go there purely for educational purposes. Yeah, Westy, another Sunday. I'm gonna try and get back to like regular programming moving forward. It's been a bit of a slog lately. Like since I've been home, I've had a lot on. So I've kind of been taking things a little bit more slowly, staying off the internet a little bit more. I'm gonna try and pick things up a little bit more though. Hopefully back. I've had a lot of messages on Twitter asking me if I'd retired. I'm like, no, I'm still here being a shitty. I don't want to call myself a YouTuber because that ain't exactly true, but I'm still here, kind of. But we'll get back to like doing a regular every 2 days type thing. I hope everyone's having a good Sunday. I'm good, Chris. I'm good. I'm good, man. I've had like a nice month of detox. I haven't touched a drop of alcohol. I quit vaping as well, which I told the chat about last week. Still been going strong with that. How you doing, Crossover? Been loving your panels recently, bro. How you doing, Angie? Hope you're doing well over there in Aussie land. Burns victim. What's that about? Fuck's that about? Hope you're doing well, Angie. Good to see you in the chat as always. You're calling me a Burns victim? You can't. Good to see you though, bro, Sigma. Yeah, everything's good. I can't complain. Things are kind of back on track. I feel like all the damage I've done to my body in the last couple of years is finally starting to like ease its way out of my system. Hopefully I can stick to it. I'm pretty dogged determined. When I start doing something, I'm usually one who kind of sticks to things. Like I quit smoking cigarettes like 6 years ago and haven't touched one since. So I'm thinking like it will be the same for everything else now. Try and lead that healthy lifestyle. See if we can maintain it. Like I said, I've been saying I'm 40 for the last couple of years. Yeah, it's actually not just water. It's kind of like throat medicine. I picked up it's like, you know those do you remember those vitamin C capsules that you put into like a glass and then you add water and it kind of fizzes up? It's like that, but it's like throat medicine. I got it while I was abroad. You know, I'm always like hacking and coughing on screen. I appreciate that, Chris Gray. It's been tough, man. It's like, you know, especially when you're in like a bad mood and you feel like raging. That's what vaping was really good for me. I'm not really somebody who would like vape constantly all day long. But when I was feeling in a pretty shitty mood and I needed to calm down, couple pulls on a vape, even me out. I don't have that anymore. Nah, fuck MMA. Talk about food. We can talk about whatever the fuck you want, sir. I don't think there's been one mention of MMA so far in here. I'm kind of jaded with MMA. Thanks, Angie. Hope your health is well. I hope everything's all good there in Australia. Hope you're having a good one. Anakin, my boy, how are you? And how is your channel going? Canada making weed legal will be the death of me. I thought that would be the case if it happened here, but I've been to so many countries in the last year where I could pick up weed legally and I haven't touched it. So I'm trying to eat lobster. You got those Sunday munchies, yeah? Lobster's good. I would say lobster is something that I could live without. By the way, guys, if you're just arriving in here, if you could smash a like on that on the stream, I'd really appreciate it. Prates needs to fight. How you doing, Bismarck? Shout out to Bismarck MMA and his channel if you're not subscribed over there. Prates was amazing, and the thing that really impressed me about that, he barely. I mean, I know Magny ain't the best fighter in the world, but it's quite rare to see him get decimated like that. He got absolutely smashed, and it was the way that he clipped him and just sent him to the shadow realm that really. So, oh, this guy's nasty. The takedown defense held up, and he looked patient and vicious in there. I don't think a lot of people are gonna. Prates is gonna find it very, very hard to get a fight now, because nobody in the top 10 is gonna want none, and people who are around him ain't gonna want to risk their spot either. He's gonna find it hard to find a fight. Yorkshire puddings are the dog's bollocks. I have like a portion of Yorkshire puddings for at least once a week. I'm good. Got a new car for myself, dropping and picking up my son from school. Fucking awesome. What car did you buy? I'm in the market for a new car as well. How cheap is eating in Thailand, Frank? It depends how you want to do it. How you want to do it, Suited Tom. If you're eating like street food, which is high quality, by the way, you can get away with like 50 cents, $1. Get yourself a nice meal from that. But you can go to luxury places as well and get the food in Thailand is exceptional. And I'm really loving the way you spell Thailand. I think they need to officially change it. Magny about to get fed to Renat next. Magny, the thing is about Magny is a tough fight for most people. He's wily, he's got a good start. And the way that Prates just handled him and made me a nice $200 as well. Made my weekend. I've had a really good sporting weekend. Philadelphia Eagles won as well. I'm kind of getting back on the American football bandwagon. Ian Gary went to a decision with Magny. Prates ran through him in less than a round. It's a styles thing, though. Ian Gary fights like a little bit of a pussy as well. So there is that. Prates versus Neil would be a really good fight. And I think Prates would melt him. I think Prates would absolutely melt him. Because that's the thing with Jeff Neal. He kind of has like a stellar performance, and then in his next one, he kind of gets fucked up, and then it kind of goes back and forth. So Neal's due to get bent over in his next one. So whoever he fights, he's going to struggle with. Renat really did get away with one majorly. Thailand street punani is around the same price as the food, I assume. I wouldn't know, Chris Gray. I wouldn't know. Not really, I don't know. Could be. I'm sure it's comparable. It's kind of when you're over there, you have to be very, it's almost like a challenge to stay away from it kind of thing. Unless you're in the position that I'm in, where it's like you're no longer interested in that, you've got a family and whatnot. But if you go over there as a single man, you're going to struggle to keep your pants on. I don't care that Liao got robbed. He's juicing to the gills. That's a fair point as well. He looked juiced up. And I reckon, speaking of being juiced up, I reckon Jones is on the juice as well. I think the UFC is just going to make sure that he gets over the line. The way that Magny got slept gave me flashbacks of his fight with Ponzi. Yeah, it's the fact. I know that he clips him behind the ear that fucks with your equilibrium. So I think people are making a lot more of the power thing than is maybe necessary. But it wasn't. It was a very, very impressive win, and it's going to make people scared to fight Prates. Yeah. Oh, Bismarck, I saw your post on that about that being a fight you were looking forward to, and I was about to jump on you, and I thought, nah, he doesn't mean that. There's no way he means that. That's going to be a public execution, the Diaz and Luque fight, and I really hope it doesn't. I mean, I know Luque is not firing on all cylinders lately, but he will beat the shit out of him. It's good to see you in here as well, Rob's neighbor. I hope everything's well with you, man. Looking forward to seeing what you've got in the works. What's a perfect vehicle for Frankie? What did I miss? Come on, man. I've been gone for a week. You were trolling. I had a feeling you were. That's why I didn't say anything. I was about to jump on it, and I thought, no, you tend to have very reasonable takes. There's no way this is a serious take. So I just left it alone. I didn't fall into the trap. If Luque doesn't smash Diaz out in the first round, he needs to retire. You just need to see it how Luque... They should have done... Luque versus Tony Ferguson was the fight to make. How you doing, Cage? What's good, my man? Hope everything's good. How you doing, bot? What's good, my man? I missed your comment. Hang on a sec. I don't have the chat window thing open. Hang on a sec. Quite far, but I'm trying to just focus on the... You should get a Ford Lightning. A Ford Lightning? I'm not familiar with that vehicle. I'm doing good, but how are you on this fine Sunday? Hang on, let me just move this. I'm good, Cage. How are you, my brother? So it's a fuel burner, is it? I've never heard of a Ford Lightning, I'll be honest. Although Fords tend to be very, very reliable vehicles. You guys know I don't drive much. I think I could go for something a little bit more classic. If your kid asked for a pet dog, what breed would you get? Fucking hell, I'm ruined. I find it very, very difficult to say no to that kid, and I don't want pets in my house. I don't like hair all over my I don't like hair all and the smell. You know, even if you clean your dog well, there's like a distinct smell. You know what I mean? It would have to be a very small dog. And I know one day he's gonna ask for a dog. It's gonna happen. All kids do. I'd have to get some little ankle biter. I owned a dog in the past. I had an American pit bull, which is one of the most... Man, I loved that dog. And then he bit my neighbor on the ass. So I had to let him go. I had to smuggle him out of town at night to prevent him from being put down. Memories. But yeah, it would have to be like a really small dog. And the thing is, yeah, I don't think his mother would be up for that either. But it is going to happen because my son really loves animals. So I don't think he's figured out yet that you can get them as pets. But one day, one of his little mates at school is going to be like, oh, I've got a dog at home. And then he's going to come home one day and he's going to be like, I want a dog. And then with my son, yeah, he doesn't give up. He's extremely... And I'm very like... I wouldn't go as far as to say pussy, but when it comes to him, I'm fairly inconsistent. We've talked about this in the past. My ability to follow through with my kid is dog shit. I'm constantly making threats, and then I just don't like. Cats are wicked. A lot less. Cats. I don't mind cats. I just think they're too selfish. Gaz Ninja, man, it's been a while. How you doing, brother? We're talking about having pets for some reason. I mean, why not? It's a chill-ass Sunday. Last time Nick Diaz won a fight, I was 7 years old. You're quite a young man, so that's actually... I believe that could be factual. You're in your late teens, right? I'm assuming you're like 18, 19, 20, that kind of age range. I could be wrong. But if that's the case, then that's embarrassing. And Nick Diaz was great back in the day. And he had... I do feel sorry for Nick Diaz. And I do want him to get paydays. Because that whole doping ban and shit was gross as fuck. Obviously, he missed out on making so much money. Give him layups, man. Give him the Tony Fergusons. You know, those kind of fights. Fun fights that you can't get seriously damaged in. You're 20. I had a feeling. So yeah, that's probably about accurate. 7 years old. I'm really good, Gaz Ninja. Having a nice chilled Sunday. It's good to be back. Me too, Frankie. We had a dog and she passed when my son was 7 and he lost part of him. That's the thing with dogs, man. It's the life cycle. And I'm like, I get attached to things as well. But I'm kind of glad that I got to hand my dog off to somebody else and I can pretend he's alive forever. That kind of one. No, you could get lovely cats that are not selfish. Just make sure they're just inside ones or they will become annoying dickheads. No, I mean, the thing is, yeah, I think cats are obviously considerably smarter than dogs, and I think that's kind of an appeal to them. And you feel like when you do get something back from cats, it means more because dogs are like attention sluts. Like when I used to go to work, my dog used to just sit by the door and wait for me, and I'd be gone for like 10 hours. And then when you come home and he's shaking his ass, going absolutely mental. It's good for the ego. Whereas cats are just like, give me my food and fuck off. And they might give you a little something back in return, occasionally. But I do like cats, especially if you get like a high quality cat. Tony would probably beat Diaz at this point. He would. I mean, Diaz isn't beating anyone. Let's just be clear about that. But what we're trying to do is reduce the amount of beatings that this man deserves to get some paydays. For sure. If there's been somebody who's been skanked out of their career, Nick Diaz is up there. Depends on the breed. I don't know that much about pets or animals or whatnot. Like I said, I've only owned one dog in my life, and it was a good experience. I loved it. You're right. Some dogs are a lot smarter than I'm obviously generalizing here, but I would say if you talk on a general level, cats are generally smarter animals than dogs on a general level. You obviously do get some very intelligent like dog breeds. Like if I was gonna get a dog again, I couldn't get one now because in the house I live in, I don't have a big enough garden. If I move to that's another thing that I think is kind of cruel. I think if you're gonna own a dog or animals in general, like I could own a cat because my house is pretty big, and cats aren't as like filthy generally. But I think if you're gonna own a dog, you need to have like space outside where you can just let them go. You know, if I was to own another dog, it would be if I lived in like a farm type space, and I'd get myself a Siberian Husky. I love those dogs. The smartest dog absolutely mogs the smartest cat easily in a brain contest. Really? Perhaps I'm misinformed on that. I just assumed because I always see dogs licking their own butts and balls, so I assume. Vertical streams viewers are grateful, good people. They always subscribe and like the stream. Yeah, I kind of did a little bit of experimenting with vertical streams for a while, and I don't have I didn't really notice much of a difference with it, to be honest. And I don't like the layout. It's kind of like I like to have a little bit of space on screen. I've been done chasing numbers. I don't really care anymore. I've said this multiple times. I'm chuffed about the fact that I've got a couple people in here just shooting the breeze and talking shit. I'm satisfied with what we've got around here. I've got no aspirations. Hey, Manuel Fernandez, my Peruvian brother, how you doing? Gaston Bolaños, great performance. Fantastic performance. Good to see a Peruvian doing well in the UFC. I mean, his opponent was slightly dog shit, but we'll slip that to dog shit's probably unfair. He was there for the taking. But yeah, Bolaños, it was a very good card on the weekend. Lots of good finishes. I made money. I'm chuffed. Let me just have a quick check and see how the Golden State Warriors are doing. I know they got a tough one today. Ooh, they're winning against Oklahoma City Thunder. I wonder if that can last. I can't believe after that last banger of a video that didn't get you there. Bro, the thing is there, Rob, the videos are a bit I can't figure it out. Well, I was talking to Making the Walk about this the other day. For me now, yeah, I'm more about just making videos that I'm kind of semi proud of. I used to release a video like every day, and sometimes, at the very. I mean, if you look at my channel, yeah, I've got how many videos? 370 something videos, right? And I've been on the platform for a year and a half, so that will tell you how many videos I've made while I've been here, or what my ratio of videos is. Quality over quantity, bro. I'd rather have decent, and like I said, the numbers game is. I just put them out there, and then if they do well, they do well. If they don't, they don't. As long as I can look back on stuff and say, "Oh, that was kind of fun to do," or the main disappointing thing for me is when a video doesn't do well. Is like I want a video to do well when I do collaborations because I want the creators who are involved to get a bit of exposure as well. My cats are idiots. You'd swear they want to step on their tiny. Yeah, so they're always getting in the way. Yeah, that's another thing as well. Most MMA fans are ungrateful. They don't deserve good videos. YouTube is a fickle mistress, sir. It really is. But like I said, I'm just kind of doing it for the fun of it now. I think there's a very strong possibility that I might go back to work in the next year as well. So that'll obviously slow things down as well. I kind of miss being in the lecture hall. I miss teaching students. I might go back to it at some point. I think like when my son finishes his first year of school, I think I'm going to start looking into things again, maybe leaving the country again. I don't know. I've been having a lot of dreams lately where I'm back teaching, and I'm kind of like I wake up and I'm like, fuck, you know, I feel like I'm kind of getting to that point where I might need to go back. But maybe it's just a fleeting feeling. We'll see how it goes. But no, I appreciate that, Rob's neighbor. I was really this video was I didn't enjoy making it compared to some of the others. Holy crap, I've got 400 and something views on a video I put up 3 hours ago. To be fair, it is kind of funny. I haven't seen it yet. I'm going to look forward to stick it in the description. Let's try and get it even higher. Where would you teach? I'm thinking the thing is, yeah, it would have to be somewhere with high taxation, like sorry, low to no taxation and pays for accommodation. Because what I would do is I would rent my house out. I'd put my house on like Airbnb or something to make an extra income, and then I'd look to I'd have to go somewhere where they pay for my kids' school fees. I don't have to pay much for accommodation, and the taxation is low. I got offered a job in Portugal at a Portuguese university in August. Bro, taxation was. It sounded like such a nice role. Tax was 33%. And they were only giving me 50% off my son's school fees. And I'm like, right. So basically, after you're done paying me, I'm pretty much breaking even. Why would I do that? Why would I uproot my life and go somewhere else when I'm not making? Like I said, it has to be this. I'd have to make the right amount of money. I'd have to be adding to my so I'm kind of picky in that regard. It would have to be a role that was like didn't completely stress me out, which is hard to do when you're in a position like that because you get very much involved in people's lives. And it would have to pay well and be a nice place to live. So I'm glad I'm in a position where I can choose. Um, oh man, I would never teach in the UK. Fuck the UK, mate. I would never teach here. It's a fucking shit show here. All that woke bullshit as well. I'd be throwing a hissy fit every time the syllabus thing comes out. Frankie, come to Texas. There's no taxes. I would consider going back to America. Teaching in the UK is completely out of the question. Frankie, predictions on Chandler versus Oliveira. I'm going with the fighter that doesn't have a brain the size of a fucking grape. Oliveira. I reckon it's the thing is with Chandler. I do think he's a bird brain fucking moron, but he's fun. If you teach in America, go to Montana. Why Montana specifically? I'm very open to coming over to America at some point. I don't want to sound like a pussy though. I'd need to go somewhere where gun crime is or guns are less prevalent. I've had enough guns stuck in my face to know that I don't enjoy it. But yeah, Westy, I can't fucking teach here. It's just a shit show. Like I did like a 6-month stint here when I came back to the country, and every fucking book on the syllabus was pretty much trans this, gay this. I'm like, I don't want to be ramming this down people's throats, figuratively and metaphorically. So you're stacking silver, Frank. I mean, I don't. I know that investing in silver and gold is probably the way to go. all of my most of my money is tied up in bonds at the moment, which actually expire in January. So I've got like a big decision to make when January rolls around. If I'm going to invest in a new market or if I'm going to maybe buy another property abroad. I'm talking to a couple of there's a friend of mine that I was in Thailand with who owns properties all over the place. And he's like, "Yeah, man, you should just come in with me. Be a renegade UK teacher." Bro, I would get struck off. I would get struck off if I taught here because I would be constantly just avoid the Appalachian Mountains if ever in America. I'll take that advice on board, sir. It would be funny if Chandler stops caring about the fans and just that is exactly what Chandler should do. Chandler needs to think of the thing is that Chandler's not going to get paid that much for fighting Charles. He's probably going to walk away with what I reckon he'll be on 125 to show 125 to win, something like that. Whereas he might be getting more than that, to be fair. I don't understand why. Because no one likes him. His fights are fun, don't get me wrong, but I don't understand how the UFC's pay structure works. It's bizarre. Japan seems like a 50-50 investment with the declining birth rate. Yeah, there's a lot of weird stuff going on in Japan. The birth rates are declining all over the place. In the UK, it's the same thing as well. We've had our lowest birth rates in decades, which is probably a good thing. The Appalachians ain't so bad. Just got to know how to talk to them. I would have no idea where to start with that. No property tax and it's majority white. I don't really mind the majority white thing. I grew up around black people. They don't scare me. I don't know why I had to say that like that was necessary to say. It could be a hyper tech island or it could be Asian Puerto Rico. Anything can happen. The Japanese tend to have their wits about them. Weird country though. Like if you want like some cultural fucking oddities, go to Japan, boys and girls. Japan is a cultural wide step from anything you'd be used to. How you doing, Mountain Man? Appalachia is based. Avoid the black and brown areas if you want to avoid. I'm very unfamiliar with the whole region. Taiwan seems like a safe investment because China will never invade. Same with South Korea. China are going to invade Taiwan. I guess now that Trump is in charge, as weird as that is to say, it's less likely. But China have their eyes on Taiwan, and they are gonna take it back at some point. Same thing with Hong Kong. China's got big plans moving forward. American people aren't like European black people, Frank. What do you think European black people are like? And what do you consider American black people to be like? See, it goes like this. You're not gonna door of all. You're not gonna door of all of a sudden you have a gun in your face, and then all of a sudden you can take a gun away from them. They're inviting you in for dinner. That was almost a sentence, Crystal. You're using the talk to text again, aren't you? I'm very confused by what you just said. I'm assuming you're saying that 1 minute they're sticking a gun in your face and the next minute they're inviting you in for dinner. Is that what you're... That sounds very confusing to me. Trump isn't in office just yet. I mean, I'm glad that he won, but, it doesn't really mean anything to me whatsoever. By the way, guys, just another reminder, if you guys could smash a like on the stream, I'd really appreciate it. Let's try and get some good Sunday vibes out there. And I'd like to try and build some good numbers so that when somebody does jump on that we like, we can give them a good raid up the arse. I mean the black and brown areas in the US in general, generally safe country, barring pockets of squalor. But I mean, there are areas, I'm assuming, of white squalor as well. Lots of areas of white squalor. I mean, there's white trash everywhere as well. Let's not just reduce the trash to a particular type of or a particular band of community. I'm calling China's bluff. They will never invade. They have more to lose with an offensive war. If anything, the takeover will be bureaucratic. I mean, it's not. That's the thing about China. It will be. They've got more of their they've got their fingers in everything. the Silk Road thing that they're building at the moment, the initiative that they're building with the Silk Road at the moment is so fucking sneaky. It's unbelievable. They own fucking infrastructure across the entire Western Hemisphere. So all the way leading up to like West Africa, they own fucking bridges. They own infrastructure. So the Chinese are slowly going about things in a very sneaky way, and I respect them for it. Consider yourself warned. Cope all you want. I will take that warning on board, Mountain Man. Yeah, I am. I can barely see straight. You remember that cold you had? I sound quite similar. I've only recently just shook it off. I went camping in the Appalachians in North Carolina, and trust me, Appalachia is cursed and full of dark spirits. I believe in that shit. I've been cursed a few times. I was cursed by a female once. Turned into the simp of the century for about 3 months. But thank you for the warning, Mountain Man. I do take your words very seriously. China's takeover of Africa is a strange play. In what sense? They've basically got African countries in their back pocket for the next few centuries. They'll reap a lot of stuff from that. It makes a lot of sense. Build up the infrastructure and then reap from what they produce. It's a very simple strategy. Because China makes so much. China proved during COVID times that they can sustain themselves internally. I lived there when it was going on. They don't need fucking they don't need to import at all. They're one country in the world that if everyone shut off their borders tomorrow, China would be one country that would continue to thrive, whereas a lot of other countries would struggle. China can be very, very self-sufficient within their own borders, and they prove that. I was born redneck, and I'm going to die redneck, and my famous last words are probably going to be, hold my beer and watch this. That's the way to go. I don't know what mine are going to be. I'm getting more now that I'm off the booze and off the smoking. I feel I'm getting more soy by the second. Trump is neutered. He won't do shit, as evidenced by the lack of pushback by his adversaries and his recent backing by previously left-leaning oligarchs. Trump's relationship with the rest of the world is very, very interesting. Thoughts on Jack Doherty? I was pretty disappointed when he emerged from that car wreck. I'll put it that way. Have you ever done business with a Nigerian, Frank? It's hell. I can't say that I have. I know a lot of Nigerian people. I've got some like really good Nigerian friends, but I've never done business with them. I saw Andy. I was in your live stream when you got to 200. Andy B is on the rise. That was such a lovely whole stream. Yeah, sorry, that was such a lovely live stream. Thoughts on Jack Doherty is I hate all those cunts. Him, Neon. I feel like shit that you said Jack Doherty and I knew who he was. That's disappointing in itself. In really, I'd be much happier if you said, how do you feel about Jack Doherty? And I was like, who the fuck is that? The fact that I know who that little scrotum is upsetting to me. Little cunt. Sorry, the gain doesn't match the loss. Sure, you get a bunch of minerals, but now you have to deal with Africa. Yeah, I mean, I don't think China's going to get out of it what they're expecting to. But the fact that they're building up essentially a railroad of commerce across the world that they own can only be beneficial. I honestly kind of respect being talentless and not funny, but making millions. I mean, it's the whole retard thing, and it's like whenever people make tons of money being absolutely shit, you've got to respect it to some extent because they're gaming the system. But the thing is of this little cunt is he needs to get battered though, because he's influencing that next generation that we have to now deal with. You know? Because let's face it, the majority of people who watch his shit are like 10 years old. Andrew, that stream where you got caught by your mum at the end was great cinema. What happened to you after you ended? I was curious. I felt like we were all in trouble. You know, when she came down the stairs and she was like, "Andy, what you doing?" And she was like, "Go, go." We were all like hiding behind our fucking. It was brilliant. It was such a wholesome. Andy just didn't. I don't think Andy's parents realize. I don't know too much about the situation. Andy's got so much love in this community. So much love. We're Andy's friends. There are some people that have done Andy dirty in the past, and we know who those people are. We're not those people. We are Andy's boys. Isn't that Hawk 2 a girl? Now, I wouldn't say she's out. She's not like I wouldn't say she's rich. I'd say she's probably doing okay. But it shows the society that we live in. That someone can basically be you should spit on a cock and they get 15, 20, 15 minutes of fame or whatever it is. It shows the society that we're in. That's the baseline now. And fair play to her. She seems like an innocent little dummy, to be fair to her. But I haven't even seen the Hawk Tour video. I've never seen it. I haven't seen any of her podcasts or anything like that. I heard she sounds like a very typical, like kind of she sounds kind of dim-witted from the very little that I have heard of her. Jack Doherty makes more money than any UFC fighter. He does. Well, almost any UFC fighter. He's been about for a while. Oh, Idiocracy is one of my favorite movies. That is the future, unfortunately. That's one of the most underrated movies of all time. Luke Wilson fucking carves it up in that. And obviously Terry Crews is the fucking president. Golden. My mum told me to hand in my phone and she was wondering what I was doing. Yeah, she's just looking out for you, Andy B. That's it. As we should do with our families, you know. I heard she was a J. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Sniff's been spreading that around. I haven't seen Sniff in ages, by the way. I hope he's all right. Good old Sniff. They're essentially buying Africa with construction, which is going to be interesting in the long game. Definitely keep an eye on Chinese and South African cryptos. Yeah, cryptocurrency is still illegal in China, as far as I know. But they're all up to it still. We talked about this last time. They kind of do like they use it through like intermediaries, like in Taiwan and Hong Kong. I'm actually going to Macau in December. So that should be interesting. Sniff is around. Awesome. I hope he's doing well. I do love me some Sniff. How you doing, Cheddarhead? What's good, my boy? Where are you these days, sir? I assume you're still on the road. Hawk Tour, she didn't quite realize that 15 minutes of fame only lasts 15 minutes. And from what I hear, she currently regrets quitting her job and all that stuff, her money. She seems like a kind of a down to earth person. My friend was explaining how Bitcoin works to me, and it's fucking crazy. I didn't realize there was like a farming process involved, and there's an algorithm and all that kind of like Bitcoin is fucking wild. Binance is Chinese. It is. So a lot of stuff is like Chinese sourced and Chinese funded. China has some very sneaky ways of getting around legality. Like I told you guys last time, they have Apple stores in China that aren't officially Apple stores. They flaunt the whole copyright stuff like it doesn't exist. It's amazing. They did a 23 and me on stream and told her she's Jay. That 23 and me thing, though, I don't know how much I believe that shit, you know, I'm going to be real. It's demonic, really. Does it matter that she's part J? I mean, the world that we live in now, when you do those 23 and me things, you've pretty much got everything in your body or everything in your DNA. Most people find they've got like 15, 20 different nationalities. It's become irrelevant at this point. The Hawk 2 podcast was interesting when she was discussing quantum mechanics and engineering. I mean, the thing is, yeah, obviously she's not capable of talking about such complexities, but she's not as dumb as she comes across. She's a bit kind of like she's got like street smarts, from what I can tell. Why am I talking about this slot? I kind of feel bad for her. And the fact that that was allowed to blow to these size that it did is crazy. I'm 89% African. I don't know about that, Cage. I would assume you've got like a very high Viking. I mean, I've never seen you, but considering the region that you're in, I reckon you've been you've definitely got some Viking blood in you there, a high proportion of it. As do a lot of Europeans, because obviously the Vikings went around on the smash, as you do when you're bossing. By the way, guys, just a quick reminder: smash that like, please. I don't know how many we're at now, but the ratio is definitely off. She seems like an independent, free speak. She's like in fair for like fair play to her. Like she just seems like a yeah, like a. I don't think she's prepared for the level of attention she was gonna get. I'm 100% Slavic. I don't need a DNA test. Yeah, just leave it at that. Leave it at that. I might do one of. Do you know what? Yeah, just maybe one day. Yeah, I'll do one of those. I'll do one of those tests and just reveal the results live on stream. That could be something to do. I'm semi curious, but my problem is again, I don't fully believe in it. So there's that. I'm 10% luck, 20% skill, and 15% concentrated power of will. Sounds like quite the combination there, sir. But yeah, she's pretty much gonna be I'm surprised she's not done already, to be fair. How's everyone feeling about UFC 309, by the way? We might as well get some MMA chatter in here. Or not. We don't really have to do that either. I'm trying to keep an eye on this Warriors game as well. I'd be really chuffed if they could do quite well against, because OKC are very good. And that battering they got against oh wow, 20 points ahead. We might actually beat them. Holy shit. How you doing, John Dong? What's good, my man? The man John Dong. Did the Eagles win this weekend? 309 is disgusting. Yes, it is. Philadelphia Eagles. Ooh. Smashed up the Dallas Cowboys. I heard that Dak Prescott's fucked as well. I think the Eagles might win it all this year. They look fucking good. Martinez or McGee? McGee. I think McGee is very underrated. It's a shame that McGee's got going so late in his career. I think he's gonna smash. I want to see it. We were just talking about you, Sniff. How you doing, you cunt? It's funny, we started talking about Jays, and then for some reason your name came up. Imagine that. Did you guys know I'm a goddamn Michelin star chef? I assumed you were a Michelin star eater. I didn't know you were on that side of the grill. Krylov is so underrated. I'm just glad that Krylov is alive. I think the Texas Yeehaws will win the Egg Cup. Who are the Texas Yeehaws? Are we just making that up? I don't know who Jays are. I think this could be very good for your career, Sniff. I think you should veer in the other direction and just act like you're a Jay sympathizer. I almost said the word there. I've had a few experiences in Michelin star restaurants, and I've never been. Cheddar Head is the Michelin man. That's what I was thinking. 10 stars. Cheddar Head is probably the image that we've got of Cheddar Head has been ruined because obviously we've seen him in all those game remakes, just being like a puffball. So I can't get the image of Cheddar Head being a 4'6" orange out of my mind, an orange shaped human. No, I mean, there were rumors out there about Krylov being killed in the war, but like they were quickly debunked. So I'm just relieved that the guy's alive, to be fair. And I think he's going to do quite well. This card is horrific, though. Let's have a quick gander at the monstrosity that is this card. Hang on. UFC 309. Let's have a gander. Let's have a quick gander. All right. Let's have a quick look-see. I mean, the less we say about the main event, the better. Is the Charles Oliveira and Michael Chandler fight 5 rounds? Not that we really need it. Bo Nickel and Paul Craig. I mean, all right. This female fight should actually be all right. Oh, another Peruvian being sacrificed to Mauricio Rufi. Yeah, Jonathan Martinez is going to get slapped up by McGee, I reckon. Why? This card is horrible. Basil Hafez and oh my god. Yeah, this is not a great card. I'm surprised they didn't stack it to hell for Jon Jones's leaving party. Surprising to me. Jon Jones is looking. There is nothing that would complete my year more than if Jon Jones got fucking smashed. How glorious would that be? What a man of honor Krylev is, seeing his country in a bad place and going to help out. I don't think for Ukrainians it's compulsory to go, but they are the most patriotic cunts I've ever seen. Check Discord. I'm about to lick this pan clean. I shall. Chat, if you know that Frankie is my devil, but I fight my demons and my devil's away from me these days, but I'm still doing it. Why am I your devil? What the fuck did I do? Andrew, if anything, yeah, I'm a really good influence. I've quit drinking, I've quit smoking. I've kind of slowed down on the whole whoring stuff. I'm a good role model, bro. I like Marcus McGee because he has a fat white wife. Does he? Does he? You know how I feel about white women. Frankie, what did you go for? Unfortunately, nothing, Sniff, man. I was on a plane. Do you have Top Chat on? No, I don't think so. I'm in Restream, so it's possible. How you doing, Aaron Tats? What's good, my man? Cheddarhead Pan, short for pansexual. I don't think I have Top Chat on. At least I hope I don't. I'm also really shit at reading chats, bro. My reading skills are not great. Andy, I'm not a devil. Please take that back. I'm a very good role model. Kind of. Steve Spiros, how you doing, my bro? Always good to have you here, sir. Hope everything's going well in your neck of the woods. I say this every time Steve Spiros comes on. I've got nothing but respect for what you do, sir. And hope you're having a wonderful weekend. And a stress-free one at that, and that you haven't encountered anything too fucked up this weekend. You spelled cack wrong. Where's cack? It was sarcasm, Frankie. Read the full comment. Oh. Bo Nickel is unimpressive to me. Yeah, I'm not really on the... I thought the Bo Nickel fight against... What's that cunt's name? That shitty... What's his name? Oh, man. The last fight he had against Cody Brundage, I thought was very telling. Because Cody Brundage is dog shit. But I think Bo Nickel kind of knows where he's at in his career. Or sorry, Bo Nickel knows where he's at. And I think the Paul Craig fights makes a lot of sense at this stage. How is Gall still in the UFC? I've got no idea. I think Gall is like a rent boy that gets passed around the UFC backstaff. He has that look about him. He has like rent boy vibes. Are you ready for Tyson versus Paul? I'm ready for it if Tyson knocks his head off. But otherwise, no. I think Tyson's going to get beaten up, unfortunately. Spiros gets love from Colby after every fight. I bet Hamzat, yeah, I think Hamzat would. The thing is that after all the shit that I've talked about Hamzat, I'm now afraid. Because if he can keep healthy, which is a big elf, which is a big if, elf, which is a big if, he's going to be a problem. I've been saying for years he's never going to be a champion, and for the first time, I'm starting to doubt my prediction. Cody Brundage deserves to be the last person in a human set. What the fuck did he do to you? I know he's shit, but Jesus Christ. I mean, no, actually, no, do you know what? Crystal's got a point. Cody Brundage is a fucking weasel. I hate Paul's family and I'm going for him. You want Paul to win? Big elf. I don't know where that came from. I think it's a bit of a hot take, but I like Bo Nickel not being that active. He's only been training. I agree with that, Aaron. He's clearly, Bo Nickel is clearly not a moron. He understands where he's at in his career, and I think he's going to take his time. And I think that's a very, very wise way to go about it. Armsby, I tell you what, yeah, I don't like Jake Paul. Logan Paul, for me, the amount that I detest that evil cunt is on another level. I actually think Jake Paul's not that bad. He's taken boxing seriously. He's training quite well. And I find him quite amusing these days. And he seems to be fully focused on the boxing thing, which to me makes him all that more dangerous. Yeah, Jake is way better than... I mean, they're not even comparable. Logan is genuinely... he's genuinely evil. I mean, Jake's not exactly, like a fucking angel either, but he's definitely more likable. I hate that guy. I'm with you, Crystal. It's the pretending to be injured and then getting win bonus, or getting like win money and all that shit. The faking being injured. He's done it a couple of times. Andrew B, are you talking about Jake Paul or Paul Craig? It's a good point. Paul Craig. Yeah, Paul Craig is gonna get fucking destroyed though. I have no problem with. I reckon. Bo Nickel knocks him out on the feet. I don't think Jake is an evil person, but Logan definitely is. I completely agree. Jake has obviously done some dubious things, but the two of them are worlds apart. Jake, I actually think, has some credibility to him, whereas Logan is just the scum of the earth. I have no problem with Bo taking his time, but quit talking about Hamza. And yeah, this is the thing. Him talking about how he's going to. I saw him on a podcast recently where he was talking about he's only going to fight people when he can make it look like they don't belong being in there with him. And I respect that to a certain extent, but there's nothing to say that you're going to reach those levels. Why is Logan so bad? He scams his fans. That's kind of the main thing about him, really. He's just an absolute cunt. He's the most unscrupulous cunt out there. It's all about money for him and nothing else. And I mean, I can respect that to some extent, but the way he goes about it is outright scummy. I respect, from the looks of things, he's quite an athletic guy. He's obviously a very smart guy to some extent, the way that he's worked things, but he's genuinely like an evil little scrote. Jake Paul deserves to be the second to last, but no, the second to last. You're saying that Cody Brundage is worse than Jake Paul. God damn. Jake just seems like a dickhead. Yeah, he's a bit of a dickhead. I'm not saying Jake is good. I'm saying that compared to Logan, he's far more likable. But yeah, with Logan, it just tends to be the way that he's just a very unscrupulous person. Yeah, the whole suicide thing was awful as well. I'm amazed that he recovered from that because that's about as bad as it gets. He went to like a suicide forest, I think, in Japan, and filmed somebody's hanging corpse and was making fun of it. I mean, the fact that he was able to recover from that was like, and it's not the only thing he's done. I just think he's morally bankrupt. That's the thing. And I don't really have issues with people being edgy or taking the piss a little bit, but he's crossed the line on numerous occasions. Just a cunt. It's worse to be in the middle, to be honest. At least at the end, you don't have the butchered cheeks. That's a good point. Because at least if you're at the end of the human centipede, you're the last one taking a shit. Like, you don't have your ass sewn to somebody's face. Similar in the way that you being at the front of the centipede wouldn't be the worst either. If you're going to be in a human centipede, you're right. You wouldn't want to be... Being at the end and being at the front is probably the best of a very bad situation. Why are we talking about this? Fucking hell, you lot. He sold his soul, also a J. You're saying Jake Paul and Logan Paul are J's. Possible. But having like, I mean, nothing would please me more than to see Mike Tyson beat the absolute shit out of him, but I just don't see it happening. I've seen Mike Tyson struggle with staircases. I don't know how he's gonna beat the fuck out of a 27-year-old Jake Paul. Front best, end second, middle worst in my opinion. Last is bad because you're eating all the shit. True. But I mean, Sniff, let's be realistic about this though. Shit is shit though. You know? First is definitely the best spot. I mean, of course it is. Because you're basically just eating and then you're shitting in someone's... Why are we talking about this? First is obviously the best spot. But I could see a strong argument that the end is not the worst either. Logan Paul gets to eat all the remainders of what comes out that human centipede. I want to see his face while it's going down. Yeah, Logan Paul is one of the worst human beings ever existed. He's like Hitler levels. If the rating on Netflix does well, I can see maybe... That's a very good point, Cheddarhead. This is like a very good test to see how combat sports in general would do. A lot of people are going to tune into this Netflix thing. They will. I'm going to watch it. Everyone has a fucking Netflix subscription. Be interesting to see what time they put it on as well. Very interesting. But I reckon it will do well. I reckon it will do millions. I don't know how that will translate into like actual money, but it would be very interesting to see how it goes. I personally think it's very early to call this. I think the UFC will stay with ESPN for another 5 years. I think that's where that's going to go. Where would you prefer to go in a human centipede? Is not a question I intend to ever think about. I'm not going to lie for it. I thought the human centipede thing was done. It was a really big thing after like they did the movies and all that shit. But by the end, the shit is so many times digested. Basically, it's just dirt at that point. Yeah. Steve, I'm kind of with you on that. But I mean, again, we're splitting hairs here. Shit is shit, right? You're eating shit. I mean, surely if you were going to be eating digested shit over and over, you'd kind of, by the time you get towards the end, you'd want to be at the end because your ass hasn't been sewn to somebody's face. Surely you would take the extra foul taste for not having your ass sewn to somebody's mouth. And you'd have a bit more movement. Anyway, whatever. Would you eat the cuttlefish and asparagus or the vanilla paste? We've gone off book here. I kind of like John's shorts, but there's something satanic about them. I don't know how they haven't just put Jon Jones is. I don't know. He's killed his entire legacy with his recent run. Frankie, you want to be in the middle of a human centipede? No. My argument is that I'd rather be at the. Obviously, you'd rather be number one, but my argument is that the middle would probably be the worst place to be. Hang on a second. How you doing, Cold Art? The full name change to Cold Art Maker MMA has. I've had caviar. It's pretty disgusting. I mean, it looks like shit, and it tastes like you'd imagine. It's not great. Does anyone have UFC 5 on Xbox? Good question. I mean, you know I do. You sent me into early retirement. I'd happily share that Nobel Peace Prize. Yeah, caviar is gross looking. I just walked into the shop and heard about suing faces to asses, and thought this is a Sunday chat. Yeah, we usually reserve the sewing asses to mouth talk for Tuesdays, but Sunday is what it is. Oh, we've got 28 people in here. If you guys could like the stream, I'd really appreciate it. Oreo cookies might have a caviar flavor. It wouldn't surprise me at this point. Caviar is pretty gross. Jones is a dumb shit, and he's a fucked person in the world. And I agree with Frankie. Thank you, Andy B. I hope he gets knocked out. I said it at the beginning of the year. Nothing would like honestly. That would make my 2024 complete if Jon Jones was fucking face down, ass up. That would complete my year. FIFA's been dying for years. Yeah, I haven't played a football game since I was like in my early 20s. Basically, when Pro Evo got wiped off the mark, it all went downhill. I mean, testing for that human centipede flavor would be a very interesting process. Old man Stipe wins. Man, I hope so. Thing is, there, I reckon they're letting Jon Jones juice for this. If you guys hit the like button for Frankie here, I will throw bread at my child and watch the chickens go after her again. If that is an incentive to hit that like button, I don't know what it is. How you doing, Matua? Good to see you, sir. The Oreos would have to be connected, Sniff. Fucking hell. I started this stream thinking, oh, I've really missed being online. I've missed talking to you guys, and now I'm like, I should just fucking cancel the whole channel. Get out of here. But I'm not blaming you guys. This is a reflection on me. There's only this is probably the only channel on YouTube that would allow human centipede talk to go longer than 60 seconds. If you let Jones juice, then you got to let Stipe juice a bit more. They won't though. Stipe's too honorable to juice, whereas Jon Jones. Oh, Schwitz FC. Yeah, I genuinely like the body transformation that he's had in the last 6 months. Yeah, it's a one championship shirt straight from I got this one from the Lumpini Stadium when I was over there last year. Fight for your freedom. They need green gloves for mutually agreed contractual. That's not a bad idea. We've been saying this about they should have like a PED organization, Mutant FC, where anything goes. I want to see Stipe get sick, injured Aspinall steps in. This is the thing. This is the thing, though, Rob's neighbor. The problem is Jon Jones will refuse to fight. What Stipe really needs to do, is he needs to pull out the day of. That's what if Stipe really cares about the MMA community, pull out on the day. And then we can watch Jon Jones scurry away and destroy his legacy forever. Because he will refuse to fight Tom Aspinall on the day. He will. Tom Aspinall beats the fuck out of him. I'm 100% convinced about that. How's your health doing? Much better. Much better. Who knew that quitting alcohol and vaping would be good for your health? I'm sleeping like a normal person as well. Stipe is so bow-legged. I'm going to be very intrigued to see what weight Stipe comes in at. I think Stipe needs to come in at a comfortable 245. If he comes in there too light, he's gonna get fucked up pretty easily. But if he comes in a little bit thick, he might have a chance. I would love a no weight limit, no drug test division. I'd pay extra for the pay-per-views. As would I, Steve. As would I. R.I.P. Ronan. What happened to Ronan? What happened to Ronan? John's legacy will age like milk. It already has. It already has. If he ducks Tom Aspinall, the thing is that the UFC are doing us no favors by helping to propagate that narrative that Tom hasn't done anything. What Tom Aspinall has knocked out. What other fighter in the organization do you know that's knocked out 5 of the current top 10 in the first round? In any fucking weight class. Not only has Tom Aspinall achieved something, he's achieved something that nobody else has. If Prime Jon Jones was a middleweight, how would he do against DDP and Hamzat? He'd mog. The thing is, for all the shit talking I do about Jon Jones, he is one of the greatest fighters of all time. Very, very high IQ. He's a great fighter. He is. He's also a cheat. It just is what it is. And he's also taken a lot of favorable matchups along the way. This guy is 6'4". He's highly skilled. He's a highly intelligent fighter in there. There's no doubt in that. He's also a scumbag. Frankie, what's your favorite kind of cereal? Cheerios. Imagine if Aspinall weighs in, Stipe gets hurt on but this is Cheddarhead. That's exactly what would happen. I'm telling you now, if Stipe pulls out, you think Jon Jones is going to fight Tom Aspinall on 24 hours notice? He won't. I worded that terribly, but I'm saying I don't know why he came in light. Hang on a second. I've definitely missed something here. I don't know why the fuck Stipe started at 232 or whatever. That's what I was saying. It was a very, very strange decision. Stipe needs to come in there thick and heavy. Because for me, Jon Jones is not going to knock Stipe out. But I think if you want to do a prop bet for this fight, I think Jon Jones by submission is a very good call. Tom is the backup, yeah. Tom's the backup. Do you at least add sugar to the Cheerios? I don't. I mean, I don't eat cereal, but if I had to choose, I'd go for Cheerios. I don't know. I'm a Cheerios guy. Mahajid Fujilit has been nailing it lately with the Jon Jones. I haven't seen a lot of his videos lately, but I do enjoy him. Honey Nut, nah, just regular, bro. I mean, I do like Honey Nut. They're fine. They're both going to be under 245 pounds. I think Jon Jones is going to come in at about 250. I reckon. I had to add ladles of sugar to my Frosted Flakes. Jesus Christ. I mean, they're fucking covered in sugar, aren't they? Oh, I do love cinnamon. We used to have something called Golden Grahams in the UK. I don't know if you've heard of them. The cinnamon ones of those were fucking amazing. I do love cinnamon. I'm a cinnamon fan in general. I heard Stipe can handle a baker's dozen firehouses between his thighs and 2 more in each hand. The problem with Stipe is he's 43 years old, which isn't diabolical for a heavyweight. He doesn't have a lot of miles on the clock. I thought Frankie would be frosted mini wheats kind of feather. Fuck you. Oh, fire hoses. I'm not counting Stipe out of this. It's just that John's clearly juiced to the gills. Milt Cheerios. What are those? I'm intrigued. What is Milt? Alpen. I'll tell you what. Yeah, I was eating like granola cereal for a while. Golden Grahams are in the US. Golden Grahams are amazing. Sorry, guys. Yeah, JVD is a fighter now. I'm looking forward to seeing him have his. I'm definitely going to turn up for his first fight. Honey Smacks, fruit filled mini. I will say something about you Americans. The amount of fucking The amount of cereal choices you guys have, food choices in general is crazy. Stipe got to get juiced as fuck too. Stipe won't do it though. The UFC doesn't want Stipe. The the UFC's worst nightmare is Stipe winning that fight somehow. It would be a nightmare for them because then their whole like Jon Jones is the Floyd Mayweather of MMA thing is gone. It's gone. He's the baddest man of all time. It's all gone. Stipe got fucking folded by Ngannou. The UFC would have a meltdown if Jon Jones lost to Stipe, and it would be glorious. I think everyone's rooting for Stipe on Saturday. Golden Crips sounds pretty good right now. Like I said, is that another cereal yet? I don't really fuck with cereal that much. I've heard it's pretty bad for you. I'm gonna try and get back on that carnivore diet where I'm basically just gonna eat prime steak all day long. I eat nails for breakfast. Of course you do, you fucking Geordie Chad. Without any milk. Sniff, I was just gonna say honey bunches of oats, man. Is that a thing? I love how the food talk always breaks out on a Sunday as well. I need to start changing my thumbnails. Somebody flew a drone close to my house a few years ago and I pointed my 12 gauge at it and it flew away fast. That's the way to deal with that. I'm not eating at this time on a Sunday. I can't do it. By the way, quick reminder, boys, if you could throw up a like on the stream. Do you eat toast? Occasionally. I'm not really a big carbs guy now, Andy, to be honest. I'm kind of I'm getting to that age now, man. It's just I'm seriously thinking of just going carnivore only. Trying that out for a few months. I'm still trying to work out what's right for me. You know? I still haven't figured out the best nutritional approach for me. I don't think there's like a universal nutritional approach that works for everyone. I think you have to find your own niche. And I'm still searching for mine. You gotta have beans with the steak though. Are you fucking out of your mind? That's disgusting. Frankie, do you think they're just hyping up John to discredit Francis? Or I think it's twofold. I do think the UFC despises Francis Ngannou on another level. I do think there's a special hate there. But I think it's that narrative of that the UFC wants to cultivate of we have the ultimate combat sports athlete. Because this whole framing of if you put him in a room with anyone, he walks out kind of sums up what they're going for. Seeded rye is the best toast. I'm quite big on like sourdough. I don't know how big sourdough is in America, but it's pretty big over here. And I love sourdough toast. It's great. If I ever fuck with it, it's usually that these days. There's Mountain Man, this is what I'm saying, he gets it. Yeah, that would freak me out as well. How much longer are you on for, you think? I'm not sure. It could be anything between 15 minutes to 45 minutes. Because like I said, I've got to get my son up in the morning. Sourdough is up there for me. It's kind of I don't know how they make it. At the park and playgrounds here, there's a lot of Gatorade bottles, and it's from I can't see that emoji. I'm not an electrolyte kind of guy, and I really should be. I really should get on that a little bit more. Because I drank quite a lot of electrolyte drinks when I was in Thailand, and it was really good for recovery. Definitely still need to sneak in the odd. Yeah, I mean, you have added that to my staple. Raisin Bran and Tricks. So are Tricks like those assorted little things you get? Again, I'm not that. Brioche bread is number one. I like a brioche bread when I'm having like a burger. I find brioche bread is like really ideal if you're having like having a good like Wagyu beef burger. You throw the brioche bread in there, it's a lot softer, it kind of breaks up a little bit more. I got 3 boxes of toaster strudels. My son always jacks the frosting packets. Fucking hell. Man, food is generally too expensive these days. Raisin bread. What's a Hawaiian roll? I don't like sweet bread. I don't like I find it a bit I don't know. What's the bread that Jesus would eat? Am I the only one that thinks 309 is a good card, minus the female fight on the main card? I'll tell you something, Mountain Man. Name value, it definitely doesn't have, but I think we'll get some actually very similar to what we got last weekend. I think we'll get good scraps that will elevate the card. I think we'll get good outcomes. I have a strong feeling we're going to get knockouts and we're going to get like good scraps. I just hope that somebody does a nice watch along for next weekend. Hopefully No Chill or somebody will do one and we can do like a panel situation that I can jump on and then jump off again when I feel like it. Brioche is French toast material. I do love French toast as well. I do love French toast. If 311 is in January in LA, I'm going. Has there been any talk about it? Fuck French toast too. Well, say how you feel. Do you guys like that? My favorite way to make toast is like this. Let me see if I can show you guys. I don't know what you guys call it in America. It doesn't quite look like that. It's this one. Let me show you guys here. This is how you make fucking toast. You fucking amateurs. It's like this. And nobody can make eggs in a basket better than I can. I'm calling it right now. I saw it being I saw it for the first time in that movie V for Vendetta. And I'm like, this is the fucking way to make toast, cunts. That is the way. And if you don't agree with me, if you haven't tried it this way, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Eggs in a basket, cunts. Try it out. What's a Monte Cristo? Chris Gray, make a sandwich. Bunch of gay baguettes in France. I'm not going to disagree with that. Western, you're bonkers, bro. Watch your mouth with that brioche shit talk around these parts. You should try peanut butter sandwich in oven. I used to be a peanut butter guy when I was 12. Fucking else. All jokes aside, I've heard peanut butter is very good for like protein. Cornflakes, a bit too dusty for me. You ever had? Of course, I've had egg and soldiers. I'm not a complete animal. Yeah, no, toad in the hole is I've never been a big toad in the hole person either. It's basically too much pastry. Try the Elvis sandwich. What the fuck is an Elvis sandwich? Ooh, what the fuck? What the fuck? Peanut butter, banana, and bacon. Jesus Christ. That sounds terrible. Is there cheese in there as well? Joe, that sounds like such a gross combination that it might just be perfection. I'll be willing to give it a go. Peanut butter and honey. I eat peanut butter from my fingers. That is the way to do it, sir. What's your go-to what if I was going to get back on the peanut butter trail? What peanut butter should I buy? Oh man, avocado. Aaron Tats gets it. Eggs in a basket with avocado is my. Oh, I fucking love avocado. I have smashed avocado for like most breakfasts now. There's just something so like detoxifying about it. If you're not eating avocado in this day and age, you don't know what you're missing. No, I'm fully aware of like the Count of Monte Cristo, the movie, but would you try rat meat that's cooked for 100K? Depends where the rat came from. I probably would just out of curiosity. I mean, ever since Demolition Man came out, I'm like, I could fuck with a rat burger. I'll give it a go. And if it was for 100K, I definitely would. But again, it depends where it came from. I would contemplate doing it for free. Jim Caviezel's brother tries to sell me a timeshare. That's embarrassing. When you say tried, it's the best on toast avocado. It absolutely is, Andy. Avocado is just healthy shit. But yeah, like eggs in a basket with avocado, bruv. I'm doing that tomorrow morning. I'm having that tomorrow. The first thing I'm gonna do is when I wake up is I'm gonna hit that up. Because I haven't had eggs in a basket in a little while. I've been waxing lyrical about it now for the last like 5-10 minutes, and I just realized it's been like a year and a half since I've actually had one. So I'm hitting that up tomorrow morning. Eggs in a basket, avocado. Let's fucking go. Chicken cordon bleu. Cordon bleu is all right. Yeah, Chris Gray. When are you launching that, by the way, or have you already? Scotch eggs are goated. Scotch eggs are amazing as well. I mean, you can't really go wrong. The rat is from raised. Do you mean I would have to raise it and then eat it? I ain't got nothing. Chicken Kievs are good as well. Chicken Kievs are great, yeah, if you make them yourself. If you make them from scratch, they're amazing. Same with Scotch eggs as well. Like I said, with any of these things, they just go levels up when you make them from scratch. Not if you get them like processed. Because people who say they don't like chicken Kievs and Scotch eggs and cordon bleu, they've usually had them, frozen. Salmon pasta is the best. I make salmon. I make like a salmon and egg rice every couple of days, or the mother of my child does, and it's fucking incredible. She's become a really good cook. Fair play to her. My next endeavor will be loaded hash browns. Loaded with what, sir? This is turning into the kind of Sunday stream I can get behind. My cat will catch you a rat. I caught him with one in the head. Yeah, I do like some. I'm a pork enthusiast, Andy. I do love me some good pork. Creamy, spicy salmon bow tie. You mean kind of? Yeah, salmon and pasta's pretty good with like a creamy sauce. I can fuck with that. Over the firepower. You mean like on a spit roast kind of thing. I don't know why I said spit roast. I just ate and I'm hungry again. That's what coming in here does on a Sunday. Yeah, Chris Gray, I cannot wait to see you get this up and running. Are you gonna do like an off? Have you decided if you're gonna do like an off-camera or on-camera type deal? By the way, guys, please do smash a like on the stream. The Instagram page first. Good. Yeah, do you know what? Just get things rolling. And like I said, Chris, if you ever feel like just jumping on camera or jumping on a live and just seeing if you've got like because you don't really know until you do it. Did you see Volk? I've heard Kangaroo Mate's a bit gamey. Let me take this one off. I've heard it's a bit gamey. But I've heard Kangaroo's quite nice. I love bagel and locks, but I don't want to be J-lobbed by Sniff. Are lots like those little like green balls? Kangaroo is like venison. I love venison. Venison is really, really good. Really rich in flavor as well. Like I used to get a venison burger like every weekend when I was living in London, which I don't anymore, and they were fantastic. Lox is cured almond. You're thinking that's what I'm thinking of capers. You're right. Cured almond. I assume you meant almond. Yeah, capers. Capers is what I was thinking of. I don't really like capers. I'm not a big fan. I'll be real. Well, we don't get a lot of capers in the UK. They don't tend to put that in a lot of food. But you tend to get that with like off camera for now, because my bet with Musical is still on for showing my face on his channel. What bet is that? Yeah, cured salmon is great as well. I hope Musical's doing well. I was DMing him last week. I'm planning on going to I'm planning on going up to his parts of Brutally in the next couple of weeks. I don't know how I'm gonna pull it off though because they're gonna be drinking and I'm not. So that might be a rough one for me. Just emulated a PS2 on my computer. It's funny you bring that up, Aaron Tats. I was playing for some reason. I had the urge. I think it was because of the last stream. I played. I've been playing the original Resident Evil 2 on like my little handheld. It still holds up. It's such a good game. It's such a good game. Bagels are a bit too doughy for me. I've never really been a bagels guy. If United place lower than Villa on the table, then he has to dress up as Jimmy Savile and busk playing every breath. That is such a specific bet. Wait, if United place lower, or do you mean the other way around? I want to play. Oh, Katamari Damacy is really, really good. So that's the game where you roll around picking stuff up. I've got that on Switch as well. It's a really good game. So fun. It's the kind of one you can just pick up and play. It's a lot of fun. Katamari Damacy Reroll, I think it's called. Great game. Fax Mountain Man. Everything bagels are for. So is everything bagels an actual? Is that an actual like everything bagels? I'm assuming this is an American thing. Everything bagel. Oh. So it's just a type of bagel. It's just a bagel with seasoning, right? Or is it a brand? It's the seasoning, got you. I assume that's what it was. I find bagels in general are just too there's too much fucking dough going on. You know? I'm just not a big other way around. Yeah, I got you. I mean, Aston Villa are probably going to finish above Man United. That's a tough one for you. And then I assume if you lose, you have to go on camera, right? You got the good end of the deal in that one. Because dressing up as Jimmy Savile in this day and age is not going to go down well. But like I said, Man United have a new manager now. They've got Amorim in. You guys are going to start doing better. You're on a little bit of a win streak. Yeah, I like it. You might get him on that one. Villa have got the Champions League to deal with. I think you'll be all right. Fresh bagels are great. Store-bought ones are good, but not great. I don't. You're right. I don't think I've ever had. I don't think I've ever had like a fresh out of the oven bagel before. That might be the issue. I've always had them like store-bought. I went through a stage where I was fucking with bagels quite a bit, but I don't anymore. If United are lower, then I go on his channel when he has a debate thingy and show my mug. I think you got the fair end of the deal there. And I mean, you'll realize, when you go on camera, it's not that bad. I guess. My ear aid is dead, so it's from my phone, Vermal, so I'm out. Take it easy, Andy, man. Much love to you, bro. Always good to have you here, and I hope you're doing really well. And shout out to Andy B and his channel. Let's try and get him safely into the 200 zone and beyond. I think blackface might be back. It's all like fucking. I mean, I don't have a problem with any of that. White face, yellow face, black face. I think it's all in jest. It depends on the context. We'll see how it goes. Decent amount of the season left. Oh yeah, I mean we're not even a third of the way through. The thing is, Chris Gray. Now that bald fraud is gone, I miss him so much. Eric Ten Hag. Now that he's gone, it's only going to be upwards for you guys because he is the worst manager of all time. I miss him. Yeah, later, Chadru. Take it easy, brother. Always a pleasure to have you here, sir. Yeah, Chris Gray, you definitely got the best. I think the reason why Musical made that bet is because Villa are actually pretty good and Man United were pretty shocking at the time. So when you made that deal, it seemed like a good one. Amrim is a good manager. I don't think Sporting have lost this season. I mean, they are playing in Portugal, but they've been really good in the Champions League. I mean, Armsby, you know how I feel about Man United in general. I would love if he was a flop. I fucking hate that club. We'll just say Chris isn't my real name. It's fine. It's always a bit of a risk using your real name on the internet. I mean, I wish I hadn't made that mistake. But I mean, who really gives a fuck? I mean, people only mostly know my first name, and I'm not really that bothered by it. My last name is out there as well. I don't really care. It's like I said, if you turn up at my house, you're gonna get stabbed in the neck. I've got kids. So dox away if you can. Just don't turn up at my doorstep. It won't end well for you. But yeah, you're right. I think but the way that Man United are playing now, they just needed some very simple tactical alterations to be a lot better than they have been. Frankie, can you go bald? The hairline is giving up. The hairline's not giving up. I've had this hairline since I came out of my mother's thing. So my hairline's always been fucked, sir. Why the fuck would you want to be a copper in the UK? Well, it's pretty safe job, really. No guns and that. It's pretty good. Pays pretty good. Maybe one day we can create a sitcom, the modern day version of Friends called That. I mean, anything's possible, Sniff. Sniff would be the I was gonna say Chandler of the group. That's who I'd peg you on as. Very true, especially with kids, and I don't got any yet. Yeah. I know you've got plans to come over here and ravage a UK female, and I wish you the best of luck with that. That's going to be the beginning of your ruin, sir. I look at it this way. I'm very good with cranial lateral impact enhancer, so I think I'm safe. It's a really nice way of putting that. The cops don't have guns either. Kind of hard to fend off machete. Nah, man. The cops are pretty they've got like their batons, and they're pretty well protected. Cops very rarely die on duty here. It's very funny. Well, it's not really funny, but when I was 8 years old, a cop on my street got murdered with a gun, and it was huge. People still talk about it now. It was like 30 years ago, and people still talk. It was such a rare occurrence, and it was such an unlucky thing. So basically, he was investigating like a burglary or something in another house, and he happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. He came out in the middle of a drug deal that had gone wrong, where somebody had just been murdered, and the guy who had killed this drug dealer had come out of the house, saw the cop, thought the cop was for him, and shot him dead. The cop wasn't there for him at all. Just the worst case of bad luck. I remember when Kramer called that heckler the N-word. I do remember that. I think he was the first. He's the first case I can remember of somebody being legit like cancel culture is kind of bullshit now. It doesn't really exist anymore. But he's like the first guy who legit like his career was ruined in one moment. Every time I think of UK law enforcement, I think of Sherlock Holmes. Yeah, I wish it was like that. But I love the ladies' accents in the UK. Why? Am I turning you on right now? This is what they sound like. Give me your money. I want to go out. That's how they sound. No, I'm not sucking your dick tonight. That's basically it. That's what you get. Citizens owning guns is a good thing. Again, I don't really want to get into the gun debate thing. I think very much for me, it's like I just think with the UK, I only think it could do us bad. Because I mean, look, we managed to beat New York in murder stats over several months this year, and we don't have guns. They sound like musical. Yeah, pretty much. That's an accurate statement. Kramer was my favorite character even more because of that. Yeah, I think the canceling thing behind that was a bit fucked up. I think I mean, let's be real though. I mean, he made millions and millions of dollars. I'm sure like it's not like his life was ruined, but look at the state of the UK and Australia right now. I mean, it's reasonable. I mean, the whole keeping tyranny at bay thing, I don't know. I don't know about that one. I don't know. I'd rather have like I don't know. I just think I'd rather feel safer day to day. But that's just me. I can understand the argument for having guns. I really do get it. Kramer was the only non-J in the main cast. Also factual. No, Corey over the years spoiled me with the posh man. Oh, we've discussed the Manchester accent situation, and I've got to be honest, it is it's my kind of dirt. I'll be real, or it was. Like I said, I'm thoroughly off the market. I've got a wonderful family. Um, but it's not a bad thing to remember the past to some extent. Remember some of the glory days. Yeah, Canadian accents have to be highly up there in the least sexy accent category. It's like Australians. I've spoken about this with Dougie a few times. Listening to Dougie go off is legit funny to me. Like Dougie makes me laugh just the way that he speaks. But sexy, it ain't. The Second Amendment is literally in place to overthrow a tyrannical government. But I mean, again, like they have more weaponry than you do. I mean, I would think that the main argument for having weaponry really is to be able to protect what you've got, and I completely get that. You haven't been to Belgium. Why the pork? I have been to Belgium. I've been to Belgium. Belgium's a lovely country. I've never had a gun pulled or witnessed a shooting. It's not as common as you think. That's fair enough. I completely agree with you. But the thing is that I went to America twice, and both times I had a gun stuck in my face. One out of those, actually, I've been to America 3 times, and I had a gun stuck in my face once, and I had somebody run past me with a gun another time, having just robbed a store. But mind you, I was in LA, so that might have a lot to do with it. It does depend on where you are. Yeah, the way that Dougie says things in that accent is just hilarious to me. It's objectively funny. I love Dougie. I mean, what he says is funny as well, but the way he says it just adds that extra. School lunches is better than. Are we really going here, bot? Americans don't have their own original food, so shut the fuck up. American cuisine is all borrowed or stolen and just has fucking sauce slapped all over it. Frankie, you were a career criminal. No. No. I've done a few fucked up things in my youth, but nothing lately. Nothing over the last 15, 20 years. Been pretty well behaved. You're hanging out with the wrong hoochies in the States. Wrong place, wrong time. I've got that kind of face as well. I just do. Yeah, it was just like it was in Los Angeles. Like there was a guy who tried to rob a store. Pretty sure chicken tent. I love that that's your example. Yeah, what original cuisine is that? We've had this debate before, Westy, and you guys, I barely said anything, and you guys destroyed your own arguments. You had people shouting pizza and hamburger, and it was a disgrace. You all embarrassed yourselves quite badly. American cuisine ain't the one. All right, guys, I've just realized it. It's almost coming up to 3 o'clock in the morning. I really appreciate you guys being here. I'm about an hour and 40 minutes in now. Um, do we have a viable candidate to get raided today? Mac and cheese is great. My favorite American cuisine is the liver of a freshly OD'd meth head. That's it, Ormsby. Come out fucking swinging, lad. I think I'm going to call it a day for tonight, or call it a night. But I will be back on Tuesday, and I'm going to try and get. By the way, guys, if you could do me a solid, I have a video currently out that I'd really appreciate a little bit of a help on boost wise. Let me see if I can find it. We've got Doom MMA is on. We've got Better MMA, who is an affiliate of Rigo. I think we should go to Doom MMA. Hang on a second, guys. I'm gonna post the one that I did over the week. If you guys could throw up a like on this one, I'd really appreciate it. I'm just gonna send it into the chat now. I think we should go to who's the Bard? Who is the Bard? The Bard. Who is the Bard? I'm gonna go off grid and do yoga. Not a bad idea. Better MMA looks like he's blind. He's an all right. He's all right for somebody who's affiliated with that noncy little fucking degenerate cunt. He's actually an all right kid, but yeah, I think if you guys wouldn't mind doing a little raid on Doom MMA, he seems like quite a solid bloke, and he's only got 4 people in there right now. So I'm sure he'd appreciate the I'm gonna copy his link in here. If you guys could jump over there, I'd really appreciate it. Guys, much love to all of you. I really appreciate having you in here as always. I will catch you on Tuesday. Much love to all of you guys. Thank you so much for stopping by. It's been a really nice Sunday.